AskReddit by Sun 1,212,123. What are the signs of a dying relationship? When you stop talking, when you stop making plans together, and when you become just glorified roommates. I described my relationship with my ex toward the end as roommates with I love yous. It was just the very occasional hug, a love you once or twice a day, and small favors. No cuddles, no kisses, no intimacy, barely any time spent together that wasn't running errands. I was kinda happier when I was alone and often stayed late at work to avoid going home, and for extra money. Nobody does the little things anymore for each other, or one person drops out of doing them. Resentment is setting in, spending less and less time together. Lack of reciprocation and appreciation also lead to this, and it's sad. TBH: Deleted. Insecurity ruins who you love, sometimes yourself too. For me, no laughing is the biggest indicator. Humor is my number one non-sexual turn on, and it's extremely important in a relationship for me. Once that's gone, I know the relationship is almost gone. Laughter is the key to a good marriage. If you're both laughing and aiming to make each other laugh every day, you're probably gonna make it. When you dread having to spend time together. Also dread going home and putting overtime just so you can spend less time at home. The opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. I agree. It's true for any relationship. I've said to both bosses and romantic partners when this came up, as long as I get mad, angry, sad, show really any form of emotion, even those many think are negative, while for me they have their place too, you know I still care on some level. It's when I absolutely stop giving a shit that it's basically over. I don't get angry at things I don't care about. I don't fight with people that don't mean anything anymore. The Four Horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and G. Wow, thanks for sharing. I recently ended a 7-year relationship and I didn't really understand why. This article made me reflect aspects of my relationship and why it didn't work. I guess I saw the signs but made things worse as my partner did. Thank you for sharing this. This will help me in the future. Lack of reciprocation in conversation, feelings, all of it. When talking to them is a chore rather than a thing you look forward to. When you simply don't have the strength to fight it anymore. Currently going through this and it hurts the most at holidays: Edit. We broke up lol WTF. When my girlfriend starting saying things like fuck off, I hate you, and I hope you fucking die, I took that as a hint that our relationship was going downhill. Insightful. You eat in silence because you have nothing to talk about or fear it will start a fight. Wow, a great observation in this one. This is the epitome of walking on eggshells. In place of something that should bring you nice feelings, you are terrified that something wrongly said or wrongly interpreted may ruin your whole day. Edit typo correction. Lack of intimacy. Not just sexual intimacy. When you don't feel like the other cares about love or a relationship too much, never even touches you nicely while walking by. Never wants to hold hands. When you can count the number of times you had sex in a year on one hand. Nobody plans dates anymore. I agree with what one user said. When it feels more like roommates, that's a sign the relationship has lost its spark. Very well said. Also losing interest on explaining your side because it either gets dismissed or contradicted anyway. When touch starts to disappear, constant down-putting comments. When you don't miss them. When it starts feeling more like an obligation chore than something that brings you joy. I was about to say indifference, but I feel like that's more of a sign of a dead relationship rather than dying. I know when my last relationship began dying, the biggest first sign was I could no longer envision a future together. I was no longer able to picture getting married, buying a house, having kids, being old, attending family events, etc. I enjoyed the present, but when I would think about the future, I would feel shitty because I knew that one day we would have to break up. This is what my mind is telling me. I don't really care anymore. I am not really looking forward to the future. I know I'll grow old alone, and I am just going with the flow. Do you look forward to not spending time with them? Do you feel emotionally exhausted after spending time with them? Are one or both of you exhibiting a lot of criticism, contempt, dishonesty, or stonewalling? Those are the best signs I have. Not just an errant thought of what it would be like to be single, but the things that build up an exit. If I look forward to not being around them, if I need to be away from them, just breathe, if they constantly nag about everything wrong about me, if they look down on me and speak poorly of me, if they can't respect me enough to tell me the truth about something or continue to hide things, if they just won't tell me what's up and shut me down. It doesn't sound like it's going well, does it? Lack of passionate kisses and lots of heavy sighs. With you. Hanging out with them or just planning dates seems like a chore. You get bored easily and it's kind of like a struggle, if you will, to even find something to talk about. Can confirm, as it's happened before. Less initiative. They don't talk to you as much unless you talk to them first. They don't check up on you anymore. Besides the possible small chat, they mostly just talk to you when they need something. And obviously less sex, especially less sex initiated by them. Things are quiet, but not peaceful. Feeling relieved when the other person's not around. That ugly feeling of we don't have nothing else to offer to each other. And then all that past and beautiful moments are coming in your head, making you a few more weeks of agony, till once a beautiful thing just dies on ugly way. This is why my ex and I broke things off. We couldn't give each other what we needed, despite us having good times together. To me, it was the feeling of not missing them when they weren't there. I don't mean in a clinging way, but just that they did not cross my mind or heart as often as they once did. I could do without them. In the sense that I didn't feel like I was contributing to their life in a meaningful way. We weren't growing together anymore. We grew individually but not together, if that makes sense. The playfulness is gone. In its place a minorly critical nature. Distance. So great that it leads to separation. Ultimately, a breakdown of communication is going to be step 1. Asking yourself whether you should share certain feelings with your partner for fear of this or that is another. Great love requires great vulnerability. If you can't be yourself with your partner, then you need to seek an understanding as to why you choose to shield yourself. It needs to be reconciled. If you have decided to spend your entire life with one person, these are totally normal feelings that would come up and should not cause a breakup, unless you live in USA. Indifference, lack of communication and unexplained changes in behavior and daily patterns. Resentment. Seeing only the bad things.